I'll be honest with you. Recently, I haven't really been feeling Hearthstone. It was fun. I mean, it used to be fun. Sort of. My enjoyment with Hearthstone reached an all-time low when everyone's favourite boy pussy became gutter trash, while the meme supreme himself curved his way to victory every single game. So with the total lack of deck diversity, every game playing out the exact same, and the only variable between these games being the tremendous reliance on RNG within them, which makes it feel less like a strategic card game with an element of chance, and more like Konami's next Metal Gear game. And nothing in recent history had changed this output given that the last expansion released was hot garbage. But these meme streets show promise, and I was very excited to get my hands on it, and now that's finally out, I'm happy to report that the new expansion is a vast improvement over the previous dubiously balanced card game. The first thing you might know about this expansion is the drastic change in art style. Jaina got bigger tits, Uther slightly more attractive, and Anduin grew his hair out a bit. I mean, Blizzard, I know you aren't exactly above being derivative, to the point of absurdity at sometimes, cashing in on every nerd culture cliche in the book while refraining to entertain even a single unique thought lest it alienate someone. But did you really have to draw half-naked anime elf girls? I mean, I guess the creation of Diva was the beginning of the end, really.
Video game!
Oh wow, there.
I wish to assert my heterosexuality to you folk. I've always been a fan of the half-naked video game girls, if you know what I mean. Cheap titillation is my jam, as it were. It's where I'm at right now. I am down with it. It's just that when a half-naked elf girl is in the anime art style, that's when you go too far. That's where I draw the line. I'm not like those other pathetic nerds, okay? I've got standards. You know the ones. Those ones. The ones I'm talking about here. You. I'm talking about you. I'm better than that. I'm better than you. But with that being said, it's their reimagining of gnomes that truly startles me. I did always like the shorter girls in World of Warcraft, and Chromie was no exception. I've always had a particular fondness for her. And much like the late Tolkien did, I spent many years conceiving of and then writing romantic patois based on my love for her and her exotic ethnicity as a dwarf, dragon, time wizard thing. Gruesomt, skelt neither home. But I digress. She always had that voluptuous figure and comically large head to remind me that she was supposed to be, well, how else do I put it? Of age? But something's wrong now. She feels changed. I still long for her, but it feels wrong now. Like I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm doing something wrong right now. At the very least, this new anime art style has a lot more internal consistency than the mess of art styles in previous Hearthstone expansions. Recycling concept art they ripped from other games regardless of how it fits the theming of Hearthstone overall. I mean, I'm sure hiring an extra artist or two really would have put a toll on their marketing budget. As for the new cards and changes to the gameplay brought by this patch, how else do I put it? I mean, the game's not shit anymore. There's actually some capacity for fun to be had in the game now. Game deciding random effects like Knife Juggler, Piloted Shredder, Barnes, Dr. Boom, Ragnaros, Firelands Portal, Maelstrom Mecha Portal, Sky Golem, Unstable Portal, and many others are no longer in the game. Low-cost minions have much lower value, while higher value minions bring their value through their utility rather than having absurdly high stat lines. Minions that spawn other minions upon entry or death are properly valued at a much higher rate than those that don't. Every class now has distinct archetypes that create unique ways to play, while many neutral minions and spells allow consistency across the classes, meaning every class can design a deck with any particular playstyle they want, without being crippled by the absence of specific qualities that are required to do so, such as healing or AoE removal. So now in Hearthstone, for the first time ever, more than one playstyle of deck is playable. More than one deck per class is playable. More than one deck is playable. The changes described and more all seem to be so simple and easy to implement in an electronic card game that I'm genuinely surprised that Blizzard didn't seem to implement them sooner. I mean, you'd have to be suffering from a mild brain hemorrhage to enjoy winning or losing based on whether or not your Piloted Shredder dropped a Doomsayer or a Totem Golem. But let's be thankful at least that they eventually did, right? and didn't just release yet another expansion with 90% of the cards being total dog shit, and the other 10% being overpowered bullshit with randomness up the ass. I mean, let's talk hypothetically here. Hearthstone is soon approaching 3 years old. And if they delayed with these changes any longer, any number of competitors could have been developed by any number of developers. And I mean, say if just, hypothetically speaking here, if some fucking random ass bootleg Japanese game developer that made such smash hits as Bunny Bay and Idolmaster Starlight Stage could have made an infinitely more fun and compelling video game than fucking Blizzard, that would be beyond pathetic, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?